Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the remaining part of three questions which is written by well-known Russian novelist name is Count Leo Tolstoy. Count Leo Tolstoy. And now here already we know that our king did not get its answer. He was not satisfied, and so that's why the king went to the hermit. And when he visited to hermit's hut, at that time he was digging the ground in front of his hut. And here he repeated why he came. He told to our hermit, but there was no good reply of our hermit. And once again maybe he thought, maybe our king thought that he was tired, and so that's why he did not give answer of that three questions. And so that's why he was ready to dig the ground instead of that is our hermit's work. And then after that again he repeated the three questions, but he did not reply. And now we are going to the next part. 1 hour passed, then another. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, I come to you, wise man, for answer to my questions. If you can give no answer, tell me so, and I will return home. And here he waited again and again. He repeated questions again and again, but our hermit did not reply. And here 1 hour passed. And जवळजवळ 1 तास झालेला आहे. 1 तास निघून गेला. 1 hour passed, and then another. One after another. Time and tide wait for none. काळ आणि वेळ कोणासाठी थांबत नाही. Time and tide wait for none, like that. 1 hour passed, then another hour passed. The sun went down behind the trees. आणि आता म्हणजे सूर्यास्त व्हायला वेळ म्हणजे होतो आहे अशी स्थिती तिथं झालेली आहे. The sun went down the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground. आणि मग ते राजानं ते काय केलेलं आहे, ते जे काय कुदळ किंवा फावडा म्हणतो ते आपण काय केलं आहे त्याचा टाकलेलं आहे. Stuck that is a spade into the ground, and said, and after that again he said, again our king said to that is a king, that is a hermit, I came to you, wise man. I came to you, wise man, for answer to my questions. If you can give no answer, tell me so, and I will return home. And then he said that maybe he was bored. There was not a good reply. There was no the good reply of our hermit, and so that's why he became nervous. He was unhappy, and he was not satisfied now also. And so that's why he said that at last he told to that is our hermit, I came to you, wise man. Who was a wise man? Hermit was a wise man here. I came to you, wise man, for answer to my questions. Answer to my the questions. He said, if you can give no answer, if you have no answer of the three questions, you tell like that. Yes, he had no any answer or nothing. Yes, you tell. But there was no response. There was no any reply, and so like that. If you can give an answer, tell me so. Yes, automatically, yes, I will return to my home. He said that. Who said that? Our king said that. King said that. Here comes someone running. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. The king turned around and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which the blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding that is stopped. And again here, when he said like that, yes, I will come for that answer to the three questions, and if you can give no answer, tell me so. Like that, such the opinion of the hermit, opinion of our king said to that hermit. At that time, hermit said that, hermit saw one thing. One man was coming towards towards the hermit. And so here he noticed that. Hermit noticed that, and suddenly he said that, when he noticed, at that time he said that, here comes someone running, means someone is coming towards that the hermit, and that is a king. He said that. Means our hermit said to that is a king here. The king turned round, and so that's why king turned around and saw a bearded man. He saw a bearded man running towards them. He saw the bearded man running towards them. Them is who? King, and that is our hermit. And the man, who was the man? The man was a bearded man. Bearded means अशी दाढी वाढून घेतलेला एक मनुष्य त्यांच्याकडं असं जोरात पळत म्हणजे आलेला आहे. का पळत आलेला आहे आणि त्याची अवस्था काय आहे हे आपल्या पॅसेजमध्ये बघावायचं आहे. Yes, he saw the bearded man who was running towards them. His hands were, the bearded man's hands were pressed against his stomach. आणि तो जो बियर्डेड मॅन आहे तो असं पोटाला धरून तो असं पळत तो तिकडे तो येतो आहे. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing, and from that the stomach the blood was flowing. Blood was coming from that the stomach, and so that's why, yes, he put his hand on that the stomach to control to that the blood, to stop to that the blood. And so here his hands were pressed against his stomach, from which the blood was flowing. When he reached the king, when the bearded man reached the king, he fainted म्हणजे बेशुद्ध अवस्था. He became unconscious. Why? Because from his stomach the more blood was flowing from that the stomach, and so that's why he became weak. And so here he was fainted. The bearded man was fainted. When the bearded man reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. आणि तो जमिनीवरती पडतो. चक्कर येऊन, फेंटेड म्हणजे चक्कर येणे, तो चक्कर येऊन त्या जमिनीवरती पडतो. कारण का त्या स्टमक मधून, त्या पोटामधून त्याचं रक्त असं म्हणजे येत आहे. The king and the hermit removed his man's clothes, and then the king and the hermit removed the man's clothes and found a large wound in his stomach. And now he fainted, he became unconscious. He fell down on the ground. And after that, what was the activity of our king and the hermit? Hermit and the king removed the man's clothing and they found that hermit and the king found that a large wound म्हणजे जखम, large wound in his stomach. Maybe someone injured to our, that is the bearded man, दाढीवाल्या त्या माणसाला कोणीतरी इंजर्ड केलेलं आहे. Maybe someone injured to that the bearded man, and so that's why his condition was a very horrible, very serious condition, and so that's why he fainted and fell to the ground. The king, after that, the king washed and covered it with his handkerchiefs. Handkerchiefs means that is a rumal. In your mother tongue, that is a rumal. Yes, the king washed such the wound म्हणजे जखम तो wash, yes, म्हणजे wash करतो आहे. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. पण रक्त काही थांबलेलं नाही. Again the king परत redressing करतो. Again here he redress, means there was no any the first aid box or no any the cream or no any the bandage, no nothing. King used his handkerchiefs and he tied on the wound. And then but here the blood would not stop flowing. And after that, again here, what was the activity about the king? You see, the king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding that is a stop. आणि परत त्याला रक्त थांबत नाही, म्हणून तो आणि परत काय करतो, परत त्या रुमाला किंवा रिड्रेसिंग करण्याचा प्रयत्न तो करतोय, आणि जेणेकरून ते रक्त थांबेल या दृष्टीनं आपला हा राजा तो प्रयत्न करतो आहे. Now we concentrate on the next paragraph. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. And here he was also surprised. He was also puzzled about that, who he was, what was his native place. Yes, everything. Where did he came from? Such the questions came in his mind or the king's mind. And now here, the man closed his eyes and lay quiet. And the man, bearded man, that is closed his eyes and that is they lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk, and now already the totally king was tired by walk as well as the work he had done. Yes, he had done. And now here he was digging the two beds. Already we know that. And so he was also tired. Who? Our king was also tired by walk. आणि चालून आणि ते काम 2 वेळेस काम केलेलं होतं, जवळजवळ 2 बेड त्यांना ते खणलेलं होतं आणि त्यामुळे तोही त्रासलेला होता किंवा तोही आपण म्हणतो कंटाळलेला होता. ही वॉज टायर्ड. आवर किंग वॉज ऑल्सो टायर्ड बाय वॉक अँड ही वर्क ही हॅड डन. ले डाऊन ऑन द फ्लोअर. आणि तोही ग्राउंडवरती असंच तोही पडून राहिलेला होता. वाय? बिकॉज ही वॉज ऑल्सो टायर्ड. अँड वेन ही स्लेप्ट थ्रू द नाईट, and slept through that is the night. And he also, our king also slept through night on that the floor, on that the ground. Why? Because he was also the tired and he slept there. When he woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. And when he woke up, when the king woke up early in the morning, when he woke up, when the king woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was. ज्यावेळेला तो उठतो त्यावेळेला मी कुठं आहे, कुठं झोपलोय हे काही पटकन लक्षात येत नाही. When he woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was, where king was, where he slept, or who the strange. He was a stranger. Bearded man was a stranger. अनोळखी आहे. He was a stranger. He was an unknown person. He did not know who he was. Our king did not know who he was, and so that's why when he woke up, when the king woke up, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was, where king was, or who that is a strange bearded man lying on the bed was. He could not understand when he woke up. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice. Forgive me. The bearded man in a weak voice said like that when he saw that the king was awake. And now here suddenly he said that. Such words are surprising words. Forgive me, क्षमा करा. Who said that? The bearded man said that. When our king woke up, the bearded man was there, and when he saw he was woke up, the king was woke up, suddenly he said that, forgive me, क्षमा करा. Forgive me, he said that, forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice. Now he was totally weak. He was totally injured. And so that's why he became weak. The weak, and he said, the bearded man said to the king, forgive me. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. I do not know you and I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. The reply was very important. What was the reply of our king? He was also confused. He was also puzzled. Why he said like that, forgive me? And so here, I do not know you. You are a stranger to me. You are an unknown person to me. Who you are, I don't know. He said that. Our king said like that. I don't know you, and you have nothing. Nothing to forgive you for. आणि तू क्षमा मागायचा काही प्रश्नच नाही. आणि मी तुला तर ओळखत नाही. तू जखमी होतास, मी मदत केली. Just like that here, said that is king. You do not know me. But I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore the revenge on you, because you put my the brother to death and seized my property. I had made up my mind to kill you on your way home, but the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wound. I wish to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful, that is the servant. And now here he said that, who you are, I don't know, you are a stranger to me. Our king said like that. After that he introduced himself, who he was. After that the bearded man introduced himself, who he was. And now he said everything in that the paragraph. You do not know me. Yes, okay. He said that. That is, bearded man said to our king, you do not know. Yes, you do not know me. Okay, no problem. But I know you. But I know who you are. He said that. Hermit said that. That is our bearded man said to the king, yes, who you are, I know that. But you do not know who I am. He said that. He introduced himself. That is, a bearded man introduced himself. I am that enemy of yours. He said that, I am your enemy. Bearded man said that, I am your enemy. And त्या bearded man स्वतःचा परिचय करून दिला. तू मला ओळखत नाही, पण मी तुला ओळखतो, कारण तू माझा शत्रू आहेस. Who said that? Bearded man said that. I am a bearded eye. The word eye is referred to. That is a bearded man. I am that enemy of yours who swore the revenge on me. Revenge on me. Revenge means badla gene. And I decided. He said that. The bearded man said that. I decided earlier to take a revenge. To take a revenge on you. Because why? Why he decided to take a revenge? It was a challenge. Challenge to that our earlier challenge, which was given by the bearded man to our king. And according to the bearded man, he was an enemy. He was an enemy. King was an enemy. And now he introduced himself about all things. Because you put why he said that? Why he decided to take a revenge? Why he had taken an oath? Why? To kill to that our king. राजाला ठार मारायची शपथ त्याने घेतली होती. सोर म्हणजे शपथ घेणे. त्याने एक शपथ घेतली होती. बिकॉज यू पुट माय ब्रदर टू डेथ. कारण राजानं एकेकाळी त्याच्या बियर्डेड मॅनच्या भावाचा काय केला होता? डेथ केला होता. त्याला ठार मारलं होतं. या राजानं त्या बियर्डेड मॅनच्या भावाला ठार मारलं होतं आणि त्याची संपत्ती हडप केली होती. आणि म्हणून तेव्हापासून हा राजा या बियर्डेड मॅनचा शत्रू होता. पण बियर्डेड मॅन राजाला माहीत नव्हतं. पण या बियर्डेड मॅनला राजा कोण होता, त्यानं काय केलं होतं हे सगळं माहीत होतं. अँड देन ही डिसाइडेड टू किल टू दॅट इज की ही हॅड टेकन सच द ओथ टू किल टू दॅट अवर किंग. Because you put my brother to death and seized my property, you have taken my property. Yes, he said that. I had made up my mind to kill you on your way home, and he decided to kill to that hour the king. And so that's why he came. So that's why he came there. Why? Because he wanted to kill to that that is the king, because he was his enemy. But the day passed and you did not return. पण दिवस गेला, तुझी वाट बघत होतो, तू रिटर्न येशील हर्मिटकडून, तू रिटर्न येशील आणि तुला ठार करणार. हे माझं प्लॅन असताना तू काय दिवस गेला तरी तू का आला नाहीस. येस, नाव इयर डे पास, यू डिड नॉट रिटर्न. आणि म्हणून आय लेफ्ट माय हायडिंग प्लेस. आणि मी जी लपलेली जागा होती ती मी सोडली. आय लेफ्ट माय हायडिंग प्लेस अँड आय केम अपॉन युअर बॉडीगार्ड. आणि मी ज्यावेळेला त्या लपलेल्या जागेमध्ये जेव्हा बाहेर आलो त्यावेळेला तुझ्या बॉडीगार्डला समजलं की त्याला माहीत होतं की तुझं त्याचा शत्रू आहे हे त्याला माहीत होतं, पण राजाला माहीत नव्हतं. When I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard who recognized me ओळखणे. The bodyguard recognized to that the bearded man. He was the enemy of the king. And now here, when I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard who recognized me and wounded me, and at last he wounded. At last it was his duty, bodyguard's duty, to kill to that the enemy of the king, because he recognized that our bearded man, and he was there means where? In a hiding place. When he leapt out from that the hiding place, and he suddenly recognized that the enemy, or that the bearded man, and he wounded who? Bodyguard, king's bodyguard wounded to that the bearded man. And so that's why he was coming towards that is our the king or the hermit, to save his life, to save his the life here. I escaped from him. एस्केप म्हणजे सुटका करून घेतली. तो सांगतो, हा बियर्डेड मॅन सगळं सांगतो काय हिस्ट्री घडली, मी कसा जखमी झालो हे सगळं सांगतो तो. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you do not dress my wound. I escaped from him, okay, no problem, मी त्याच्यातून निसटून आलो, but I should have died if you had not dressed the wounds. जर माझ्या या जखमेला तुम्ही ड्रेसिंग केला नसता, योग्य उपाययोजना केली नसती, तर कदाचित मी मरण पावलो असतो. And you are like a God, the God here. Yes, I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not addressed my wound. I wish to kill you. He said that, bearded man said like that, I wish to kill you, and you have to save my life. आणि मी एकेकाळी असा विचार करत होतो की मी तुम्हाला मारणार होतो, ठार मारणार होतो, आणि आता तर माझा तुम्ही जीव वाचवलेला आहात. You should save my life, or his the life here. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant. If I live, आणि मी आता जन्मभर म्हणतो, मी जन्मभर I will serve you as your most faithful servant. आणि मी आता इथून पुढं मी तुझा दास बनेन, मी तुझी सेवा करेन, कारण तू माझा जीव काय केलंस, वाचवलेला आहेस. आणि त्यामुळं आतापासून इथून पुढं मी तुझा एक फेथफुल सर्वंट बनेन. अशा पद्धतीनं त्याने ओथ घेतलेले आहे. नाव हिअर the enemy became a friend. One enemy became a friend. Now here at the end of this paragraph. Why? Because the person, the king, saved his life, and so that's why after that the bearded man decided to become a faithful servant of the king. Why? Because the king saved his life, and so that's why before that he became his enemy. His enemy. Why? Because there was a history. Why? Because here already we know that he killed his brother, bearded man's brother, and seized his property, and so that's why. In earlier days he became an enemy, but now here he became a good friend or faithful servant, and so that's why. Means one enemy became a that is the faithful servant, not servant, faithful servant. It's also very important. Faithful servant. Now he became a faithful servant, and so that's why. Now we concentrate on the questions, answer. Question number 1. How did the king treat the wounded person? How did? Already we know that the bearded man, the wounded man came towards that the king and hermit. Then the hermit and the king removed the man's clothing, and they found that that is a large wound in his stomach. Then the king washed and covered it with his handkerchiefs, but the blood would not stop flowing. Again the king redressed the wound until, and at last blood was stopped there. Blood was stopped flowing here. Like that, such are the questions answer, which is mentioned in a paragraph number, that is 5. You go to the paragraph number 5, we'll get you the answer. Now we turn to the question number 2. Why did the bearded man swear revenge on the king? Why did the bearded man swear revenge on the king? Because the bearded man decided to kill to that the king, because here the king killed his brother and seized his property, and from those days, yes, he decided to kill to that king, or he decided to take a revenge, the revenge, and so that's why. Now we turn to the question number that is a 3. Who had wounded the man and why? Who had wounded the man? Bodyguard. Whose bodyguard? Yours? No. Bodyguard. Whose bodyguard? Whose bodyguard? That is the king's bodyguard wounded the man. Why? Because he recognized that the bearded man, he was his enemy. That is the king's enemy. So why did the man say that he would serve the king as his most faithful servant? Why did the man say, man means bearded man, say that he would serve the king as his most faithful servant? Faithful, the servant. Yes, now here, because he saved its life, his life, he saved his life, and so that's why. Yes, after that he decided to become a faithful servant of our king.